in flattering light. Now I'm looking a little bit better, I guess. I guess this is better. I mean, it sounds less hot spots, but now it's like there's a clear gradient. But it's okay.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Remaining.
So yeah, big thing that I was gonna say is that they've both played Boom.
5 seconds
Played Boom.
remaining.
And then they've played other people outside of it. So I'm actually feeling like Reality Rift's the stronger team here. They have lost to the people they're supposed to lose to, but then the person that they played against the same is Boom. Granted.
Yeah, and also seeing as how it's all intra-regional performances, it's difficult to say that one team may just consistently have an advantage over another based off of player history and player knowledge. Or maybe they were just off on drafting one day, because as we're going into this draft, I'm seeing two heroes that I'm not used to seeing. Which Underlord picked up for TNC, which I think this is the second time that I've seen it out of like the 5 days that you and I have casted together, and so that hero's not popular. And Spearbreaker, the only time I saw this hero was whenever Fnatic kind of memed it up and won with it, but still it was like Fnatic kind of memeing. And both teams are picking these heroes in pretty serious game right now in this game one.
No, absolutely. This is really an important one. I mean, you're looking like if you're TNC, you're feeling okay, I'm in third, that's fine, but you still have to play against Detroit and you still have to play against Fnatic. Like those are some big teams that they're gonna have to go up against later on. You can't take anything for granted at this stage of the game. I will say that for TNC, we have seen this bounty hunter come out from them before. They did it with the bounty hunter and then an alchemist. Their last pick, if I'm not mistaken. Arch playing on the position 5 bounty hunter, which is pretty hype. You remember he kept on killing couriers and stuff?
Yeah,
it was awesome.
He just posted up 2 sentry wards over there and was just relentlessly targeting them, which it seems like a okay place to put this bounty hunter right now. I'm typically seeing Silencer be played in the mid, which is also another hero that I don't think you and I have seen at all so far this tournament. But he is a
the first 2 days.
Oh, you did on the first day. Well, you and I, not you and Danog.
That's fair.
Okay. But did you see it mid?
TNC
it was mid, and it was also an answer to one of these, as we see Reality Rift actually take away an Alcor, just pick it for themselves. It was an answer to a defensive hero like the Shadow Demon. So you initiate on somebody else, you take them out, and I think that it was an answer to like a position 4 Weaver. It was an awful game for it. But regardless, it's this idea of like you jump on one of these heroes that normally can just rely upon getting saved. And that's not the case with Shadow Demon. Like, what are you going to build into that takes global silence off? There's nothing really that want to have to build into that hero. So that's something that they're going to have to deal with on Reality Rift. That hard initiation and then no save. Although right now they don't really have the hardest initiation. Like Pit of Malice. What the hell?
Yeah, and they can't really afford to be purely defensive with the Silencer ulti against an Alchemist, which is a very, very solid Alchemist pick, because primarily, like you said, there is no hard initiation. And even the one hero that they do have initiation with, which will have to be their last pick, is gonna be their 1 position. And so you usually don't want to have your 1 position to be the primary initiator, and it's looking like it'll be a melee hero, as TNC Predator are banning out a Razor as their last ban. So you want to pick someone who's going to be laning against Timbersaw, Slark's banned,
10 seconds
Monkey
remaining.
King's banned. Wow.
5 seconds remaining.
Rift kind of have TNC in a little bit of a...
Yeah, I'm not sure. They take out the Meepo themselves. I actually have no idea. Yeah, it's really a tough matchup so far.
They pick to lane against a Timber, so be a team fight initiator, because they don't even really have that strong push that TNC can be like, oh, okay, we don't need to take team fights. You know, if we group up and we start taking towers, then you have to start a fight, and we're just gonna global the fight and stop it as soon as it does start. But they don't have anyone who can push. Silencer does eventually start dealing like a lot of damage, not necessarily to towers, but to heroes. So he's kind of snowballing in that regard. So I'm not too concerned about TNC's damage output, but in terms of their initiating capabilities and in terms of their carry matchups, things are not looking great.
No, which is interesting because it's reality if they're taking a long time with this last pick, and you would have thought with that Alk, maybe it was again they had seen the bounty hunter played with the Alk before, and then they just I pick it or something. I don't know how much of a threat this really is. If you're able to like, I think the only way that TNC wins this is if they like super stomp the lanes, something that they're capable of doing. Some of these heroes. Maybe reality if they're trying to just take doors up their lane.
Ranger at your service.
A decent laner, but decent hero, question mark? Let's see. Pull up these statistics. As
Don't let the recent infusion of Slack's tweets infect your brain.
Oh, so actually I had there was a great Wind Ranger tweet, but it was like 80% a tweet that he had already made. And so I was like, damn, I can't use that one because there are many that I'm like there's this point that I'll see a quality tweet in the list of Deep Slack's tweets, and I'm like, oh my god, this is such a good tweet, and then I'll have to compare it against the existing list. And whenever it's not on the list, I'm like, oh my god, how did a robot come up with this? It's so good. Yeah. Like the one that I posted today, where it was like the advice to Dota 2 streamers, because
oh my god, that
like
was
a
so
real
great.
tweet.
So good. I could not stop laughing. My wife had no idea what was going on. Oh.
All right.
A+.
So I don't need to be infected by that because the real statistics are just as depressing for her. She has only been picked once, and it was by evil geniuses, and they lost. Oh no, never mind. Okay, so it was by evil geniuses. Arteezy played it, and they beat Furia with it. Which is
okay. That's fine.
Interesting. Yeah, it's fine. KYXY is gonna be playing it, but it says Arteezy played it in off lane and a tri lane. Man, that was a weird game. Seems very weird, but yeah, Arteezy played Wind Ranger. They won with it, and it has a 1-game sample size in this tournament. Don't know about ESL, but it's not even worth bothering checking about that now. And Armel is going to be taking the Ember Spirit as the final pick for TNC. So it's still, I mean, it does shore up some of their initiating capabilities, but their push is still atrocious. I don't know how you take towers as TNC.
I don't really either. I think just kill them all is probably the... There are some nice things that you can do with Underlord, obviously, where if you're, pressuring down a lane and trying to take a tower and things dicey, you can be out of there, and that's like a good way to... You think about how many times we've seen force somebody back and then they get caught because they can't initiate as quickly as they would otherwise. So like that feels to me like it's a nice piece of it for KP. Gabby playing safe lane silencer to me very interesting because it means that they want the matchup of Ember against Alk. That's what that tells me. Like maybe they to me I would have thought that silencer would have been more of a lane bully than the Alk, but maybe the idea is you just like out CS the Alk early on or something. I'm not sure. I'm really curious what the idea is there.
Let me see the lanes first, because things may be bouncing around quite a bit, but
prepare for battle.
I'll agree with you once that matchup starts to evolve. Alright, so Hustler, KYXY, and Nuts. Probably gonna be solo versus KP. It's gonna be like tri-lane v tri-lane or something.
I imagine they're just gonna do. Well, maybe they do that. Yeah, it's a really good matchup against the Underlord. Maybe KP can just cut behind the wave over here or something.
Yeah, and no support from TNC can really help against that. Hustler's super tanky.
Going up to high ground here. Gonna try and take the outpost. Moving in with the invis. The full wraparound comes out. Hustler not able to be blocked off, but actually forced to take the bulldoze level 1. I don't know if that's gonna end up working for me, but I think he still goes down here. Another sleight of fist in a second. If they can find the range, chasing forward for Gabby, trying to kill him off. I mean, Hustler doesn't have anywhere left to go now, and they have another scatter blast.
And he just burns. And yeah, he burns through 3 tangos, bro.
First blood.
Oh wow,
that's not gonna happen.
Okay. Very bizarre. So KP in the meantime gonna try and battle for these bounties here. Doesn't look like he's gonna be able to get it.
Oh, KYXY also gets it off of March's Bounty Hunter as well.
Wow, is that all 3? That's all 4 going to the Alchemist. That's crazy.
Tactical Spear Breaker feed, my man. He now walks out of the base with 6 tangos. So, what a masterful play by Hustler's Spear Breaker. Taking the
but now he just bulldoze.
Dude, who gives a shit? Your Alchemist got 4 bounty runes. 4 bounty runes. What's the net worth at?
Okay.
Oh wait, what? How's the net worth so even?
Did he not skill it up?
Oh
Did
my
he
God.
not skill it up? I checked on it afterwards. I think he didn't skill it up. There's no other explanation for that, right?
There's no other explanation. There's no way an Ember Spirit should have a higher net worth than an Alchemist who got 4 bounty runes.
Dude, Alacrity, I am like 1,000% sure that happened. We're gonna have to go and check. God, can you leave the game and go like look at the lobby? Like, or somebody in Twitch chat, go look at the lobby and let us know. Spread the news. You know, go back in time. You can look back through it if you're watching in game and just tell us, because I think that's what happened.
Yeah. Go Tsunami or Lyrical Dota in the chat and see if that's what happened. Because, man, imagine going through all that effort and then you don't even get the benefit. I mean, it's still nice. It's still nice to get 4 bounty runes and the enemy gets 0, but I can't believe you wouldn't skill up Grieful's Greed first.
I've seen it happen before. When the change happened, it was actually an NA Dota of all places.
Of course.
And it was
what do you mean of all places? That's the first place I would have guessed.
Yeah, it was High Councils of Wizards and Priests. It was Greg's team way back when, and it was with Jimmy and Justin.
Dude, how do you remember this?
Other people.
This is encyclopedic levels of knowledge. That's incredible.
Well, it's very memorable. I'm gonna remember this for Alacrity. You know, this is one of those things that happens. Oh. Well, I mean, can you imagine if it actually wasn't? We've just been talking shit this whole time. Sorry, man. I'll be on us if it's true, but I don't think it is.
We got that great anecdote though as a result. So
true enough.
There's a history of it occurring.
Right. So the other thing that I wanted to mention is like maybe a reason why you would swap it up for the silencer. I remember seeing the silencer mid, and I had forgotten as we see March already laying waste to these couriers. Silencer got roamed on mid over and over and over and over and over again, and he just died, and then they were in like a much worse position than they otherwise would have been. Harder to do that against Armel Ember Spirit if you can like sleight of fist dodge stuff.
Yeah, but Reality Rift also don't really have anyone capable of roaming. Like, a Shadow Demon rotation is not that scary for a Silencer. Wind Ranger is not going to be rotating. Spearbreaker could charge, but Alchemist can't really take advantage of a Spearbreaker charge in the mid lane, so I don't really think you need a more defensive mid laner, because I do agree that Ember Spirit would be more protected, but I also don't think you need protected. However, I will say that I think Armel with a level advantage can bully a Alchemist who's kind of farming his jungle a little bit more than a Silencer who's farmed up, as now Cookie lands onto the Wind Ranger.
XY goes down. Oh, and now finding a little bit of a bash for himself, trying to get aggro here onto Tim's. Can they get the kill? Not quite gonna be there. The creep's trying to clean up, but it didn't end up happening. So Snapfire makes it work.
Beautiful. Silencer's already off to a roaring start. And March establishing vision control in the jungle. Yeah, so I think this is the idea, is that they just want Ember Spirit to fall around the Alchemist. And now, KP.
2 will die. This is the danger of going up against the Timbersaw. It is 3 heroes up here. I guess they're just like giving up on bottom lane. Like, QXY, you're on your own, buddy. As they kill off Alchemist. March rotating in with a little bit of help from Snapfire, and they managed to find that kill on the mid Alch.
Wow, he didn't even cookie for that. Just straight up got a scatter blast into Armel damage. Sweet, that's a great kill. Gabby getting charged and shackled.
Yeah, saves the cookie for afterwards when the charge eventually comes. All according to plan. Hustler so far, you know, being able to at least get a little bit of pressure around the maps, and they find that kill onto KP up top. See, so far, this Timbersaw super happy with his laning phase. Level 5, drawing some aggro over. trying to battle for the bounty rune.
We'll take that.
Looks like RR again gonna get a hell of a lot of them. That's pretty great. 3 for 1. Start.
Trying to read the chat. Are we like the first blood?
The Ember First Blood. Would that have made up the difference?
Denied.
What do you mean the Ember blood?
Well, if Ember First Blooded, I mean, it doesn't matter now. The bounty rune situation is already over, but I think that what the point would be is that they would have been on equal net worth because they had First Blooded. With Ember.
That is true. That would make sense.
Yeah. Is KYXY dead? I still got a salve as well as a stick. Well, it turns out that I was right. Imagine if we would have been wrong about that, talking about it for so long.
Boy, that would have been controversial.
As it's bound to happen over and over. Alacrity, in the meantime, after getting 7 of those bounty runes, they're going to move on in and take down the kill on the Shadow Demon. This is, well, charge comes through. Armel's still able to find the kill. And Alacrity, in the meantime, Chase gets the salve broken. Can they kill him off? The Revenant Ford able to find another finish. Armel. So when they go on in to take down these stacks, they're going to be able to steal it away on TNC as well. So a great start for them.
Dire's middle
Yeah, and this,
tower.
now a whole bunch of, oh my gosh, yeah, they're taking this entire.
Dude, look at this battle. What is happening? They're all coming in for it. They're like, we can't give it away. Armel, the absolute thief here, trying to finish it off in time. Even if they die at this point, I think you're kind of okay with that, denying the gold. Maybe not. This is a lot of
Radiant's
death.
middle tower is
TNC
under attack.
lose 3 heroes up in the jungle, but they take the whole stack.
Yeah, and Underlord kind of joining in. Well, actually, Underlord's also relatively low net worth, so the most important heroes being the Ember Spirit and the Silencer are still continuing to farm, and Armel doesn't die. He gets his bottle refilled. They still have vision control inside of the Dire jungle because this Radiant Ward is not going to get countered anytime soon, so not that bad, TBH. It's just that I don't really know what you're gonna do if you slow down an Alchemist. Because again, you can't push towers. So even if you slow down this Alchemist quite a bit, he's eventually gonna make his way to Radiance. And at what point do you start trying to take actual objectives and not just contest like neutral camp objectives?
Radiant's
Yeah.
top tower is under
No, it's
attack.
true. That's the big issue, is going to be trying to finish off those towers one by one. In fact, it's Drew that's going to be able to get more of the damage onto this top tier one just by virtue of being an a Timbersaw up against an Underlord. I've played this matchup so many times, it's like frustrating. You just can't do anything, it feels like. We'll be able to throw out the Firestorm in a second. In the meantime, Ember already finishing off Treads and an Urn, so he's going to be going for a Spirit Vessel soon. As Armel picks up an Illusion Rune, chasing in, trying to find Hustla. Wants to get a couple of charges as the cookie comes through. Hustla going to die. So TNC not taking their foot off the gas at all. They're playing with a lot of pace at the very least.
Yeah, and they're creating a world of space for Gabby Silencer as well, who hasn't even bothered to skill up global. He's about to hit level 8. I wonder if he's just going to take another point in Cursor Field finally. He finally takes global.
Armel's over here. You've got the freaking Snapfire that's backed by enemy lives. They got to get the hell out of here. Tim's is going to go down. The charge is coming through onto Armel. Can he slight dodge it? Didn't have it off of cooldown as it gets the Remnant away. I mean, look at how many heroes, all 5 heroes from Reality Rift are in the jungle. Like, they have to protect Alk, and I think that this Ember pick has been solid for coming to try and disrupt his farming patterns.
But he's still maintaining a relatively close net worth to Ember Spirit, so
Yeah.
he's getting a bunch of camps stolen. And he's a very, very long way away from Radiance, so this is not going to be like the 12-minute Radiance that we're used to seeing from free farming Alchemists. This is going to be more on track for like a 18-minute Radiance, which is not great, but I'm very, very curious to see what a free farming Silencer is going to be able to do. Going in again?
Yeah, well, they get the kill up there. KP takes him down. Nice timing there, waiting, and the Underlord ulti just took a little bit too long before it sent him back home. So Drew is definitely the shining light in this game. Obviously, Alchemist is having a pretty good time as well to some extent, as he's the second highest net worth in the game. Would have loved to see it higher, but getting that kill there, or at least the assist, is Armel. Again, it's just running through like a madman. What's this guy doing? Shackle lands after the Remnant, and Armel tries to escape. Remnant's away afterwards, throws another one, just trying to get out of there. I mean, this dude's got a freaking, President Alacrity has the bodyguards all around him. He missed the chains, and also gonna miss now the regen rune. This game is all kinds of wacky.
He's baiting him in
Is under attack.
Oh, Hustler pops the salve and gets the walk away. They have a charge if they want it. Chain forward, kills him off. Dude, Hustler playing beautifully.
Yeah, Hustler played great, but Armel should not have been standing like that close to the trees, because the only way he dies is if the last bit of Timber Chain damage comes in. He should have been hugging the river a little bit closer. And that last invasion, finally Ember Spirit not only dies, but he also does basically nothing to contest the Alchemist. He popped in, got shackled, immediately had to leave. So not only are you, like, Ember Spirit is not going to be able to keep doing this. Alacrity is out farming him now. Now Timbersaw is actually freaking 6.2k net worth himself, so
Dire's middle tower is under
I
attack.
wish that they had like a better hero to take advantage of all this space, but it's a silencer.
Right. Yeah, what's he really going to be able to do in this game? I mean, we're going to have to wait and find out, but if past precedent is anything to go by, it's going to be a hard game for TNC to win unless they can just kind of keep this sort of chaotic spree of energy going and make up, you know, the detriments that they're going to have in net worth by bounty hunter track kills. Like, that to me feels like it's the only thing that they can really do is make this game chaotic by PNC and try and get track kill after track kill, and then you can maybe keep up in like some kind of net worth with Alacrity, but it's going to be hard.
Yeah, because they can't even maintain control of the Dire jungle now. Shadow Demon has been able to participate in a fair amount of kills. He's 2-1 and 3, and so he's got money to burn on sentry wards. They've fully dewarded the jungle now. Let's see if March is going to be able to... Oh, that sentry ward's not going to last.
Yeah.
And they're getting stacks off.
It should signal to him that he was right on where the observer wards were at. Nuts is going to deward a sentry right here. Well, some more pressure onto this tier 1 tower up top, but 12 minutes in, it's like decent damage on these towers, but none of them have fallen yet. So not really able to control that Alk's farming patterns. And he's got the relic done. He's almost got this Radiance done. March, tough. Oh, gets the observer, loses the sentry. That ulti off. And there's the dust, and now March is in a lot of trouble. As the Timbersaw moves on in, KYXY will go down bottom side. So they're able to pick up a return kill, but no track kill.
Yeah, Wind Ranger isn't quite as critical. I am waiting to see what the advantage of the Wind Ranger was. Maybe... I think they were probably expecting it to be a safe lane Ember, so maybe they thought that Wind Ranger could abuse a safe lane Ember quite a bit. But right now, just in general, she's really good at keeping waves pushed with Power Shot. It's already a maxed out Power Shot, and they already have pushing issues right now, as you can see Armel trying to take down these towers. Like you said, they're all these mid tier 1 or all the tier 1 towers are low, but none of them are dead yet, and that means that Alchemist is still well on his way to his Radiance.
Yeah, it's coming out to him right now, actually, on the courier. And this timing, I mean, like we've said, it's not the fastest in the world, but it's going to do the job.
That's still
like,
way better than I was expecting.
Yeah. You're still... Do you have the Spirit Vessel done yet for Armel? Looks like it just now is completed. So this is a great timing for them. Kill Alk a couple of times right when he's getting his Radiance. This is going to be the most vulnerable he'll be for probably a while. But Alacrity is back and hiding off. Smoke is going to connect to him or not.
The only problem is Drew has completed a Lotus Orb, and so he doesn't even need to use that for himself to take off the Global Silence, which is, I imagine, what the primary purpose is. But if they're brawling early on in this jungle, he can just put it on top of the Alk and dispel that Spirit Vessel.
All right, Nuts in some trouble. Cookie not going to land onto that Spirit Breaker, but they do find one track. Oh, there's going to be the latch. As Global Silence comes out, okay, decent way for this fight to continue on. Can they find any more kills? Drew down low is gonna die. They take down another one. KYXY also going down. Like we said, great timing right here from TNC if they can find the fight, and they did. Oh, look at this move. Yeah, Hustler's realizing I am not in a safe place and is gonna TP out.
Yeah.
So can they get any towers afterwards? Looks like they're going to try and take top.
Dire's top
They can
tower
take
is
top.
under attack.
They should be able to take mid as well. Alchemist isn't going to defend that. And they also got a bunch of Spirit Vessel charges. Ember Spirit ends up with 3 Spirit Vessel charges after that engagement. And it was right at 15 minutes. And so they should be able to take 3 of the bounty runes. It doesn't look like March is going to get that. Oh, wait, he did. So, yeah, 3 of the bounty runes are going to go the way of Radiant. So, great timing for that TNC fight. And taking 2 big objectives. Again, it's in a post-Radiance world, so it's not as dramatic for the Alchemists, but they still need to keep going pedal to the metal if they want to win this game.
Yeah, and you can see Alchemist did have that Blink Dagger queued up. It looks like he might be going back for the Manta instead to try and be that answer for both the Global Silence and the Spirit Vessel that's online. TNC, this is the right move. You kind of just have to keep this pressure going. You can't afford to take your foot off the gas, or the game is going to spiral out of control. The Atos for Underlord is kind of a nice little touch as well. Gives him a little bit more fighting potential. As Tim spots the Spirit Breaker, they back out. Ooh, Cookie off the mark, and now March, kind of far out, is going to get punished, killed off by the Chakra. Lotus Orb takes off the track. Get a disruption there for the moment. Alacrity goes in, stun. Well, it lands, and they've got him under control. Armel in a little bit of trouble, is going to go down. Snapfire ultimate does not look like it's enough to kill off Alacrity. It might be enough for KYXY, as he eventually almost burns down to that one and will die. But on the top side here, Drew ready to run in, make some mischief happen. KP doesn't have another Pit of Malice for another 2 seconds. See if he can buy a little bit of extra space for his team here. Throws it down, hits onto 3. Global afterwards, but where's the damage? With Ember Spirit still dead, there is not all that much trying to find the kill, and March able actually to get 2 of them. So he gets it done with the Shuriken toss, a little bit of extra help, and maybe finally they've been able to do it. Do they have enough to kill off this Alchemist? Alacrity, the last one left alive, this slow burn down coming from the Radiance is going to be enough. A double kill from KP. They got it at the last second.
Well, KP is so difficult for Reality Rift to kill. They dedicated a whole bunch of energy. They did successfully kill off the Silencer, which is, I imagine, the main reason why Hustla bought back on his Spirit Breaker was just they wanted to finish off that Silencer. But it's the whole Atrophy aura and KP's just presence, despite not having any auras. He's working his way to the pipe right now and eventually, or the hood right now and eventually the pipe.
Dire's
But
bottom
him just
tower
being
is
very,
under
very
attack.
tanky and constantly being able to get this pit and rod, like there aren't enough dispels yet on Reality Rift. There's only the Lotus and the Chemical Rage activation from Alchemist. Beyond that, like they're gonna get rooted multiple times, they're gonna get silenced multiple times, and they have no ways of taking that off. So until we start getting like I don't know what KYXY is just building damage actually. He's not even worrying about utility, so
Radiant's
he's just gonna try to kill
bottom tower is under
people.
attack.
Spirit Breaker also
Radiant
is
structures
just
are
looking for I guess damage mitigation. He's gonna be going for the urn. I'm surprised there are no Greaves coming out on Reality Rift. I feel like Greaves could go a long way at both dispelling things and keeping their teammates alive because they have tanky teammates. Timbersaul's quite tanky, Alacrity on the Alchemist is quite tanky, Spirit Breaker's quite tanky, but
is under attack.
there's just too much
Radiant's bottom
drawn out
tower
damage
is
and
falling.
not enough heals on the sides of Reality Rift right now.
Yeah, it's a really interesting game in a way, right? Because it's like 2 different versions of Greed. This Bounty Hunter is, well, they will get the disruption for the moment onto KP. The Latch is going to be there. Demonic Purge afterwards. This is a whole hell of a lot of damage, and they are going to lose KP. Now Gabby kind of in on him as Armel also is. They take down KYXY. Drew kind of out of position. Misses the Timber Chain, actually. And now, with the Mortimer's Kisses coming in, Global Silence afterwards. Armel thinking about going back in. Gets the chains there onto the Alchemist. Left all alone with the Spirit Vessel. He's dead. Oh, no. The save. Able to get the last second. Is it going to be enough, though? Cookie puts the kibosh onto that one as Nuts is going to go down. And I don't know why Reality Rift keep taking these fights before Manta. Like, he is 400 gold away. Like, did you need to go in right there? I don't know.
Yeah, because killing off the Underlord was great, but them continuing to pursue going down to the low ground to finish off other targets was wildly unnecessary. And Drew kind of misplayed because as soon as Silencer activated the global Alchemist was in the middle of channeling an unstable concoction, and so it was like down to 2 seconds, and then Drew ends up putting the Lotus Orb on himself, and then not chaining anywhere.
Right.
And so if he was able to put that on the Alchemist, Alchemist may have been able to chuck out that concoction, and either they would have retreated, or maybe they would have been able to get some kills, but instead Alchemist goes down again, really in style, which also sucks if they can't get down.
Yeah, true enough. I mean, again, it's like, I just have this feeling, and maybe this is the NA Dota in me, that if everybody just took a little bit of time to hit some creeps, everything would be okay.
Well, not
for Reality Rift. Right.
Reality Rift, yeah. If Reality Rift took some time to hit some creeps, it'd be great. If TNC took any time, then that would be disastrous, and it doesn't seem like they're going to be hitting creeps anytime soon, as, again, everyone it's just combat-oriented, left, right, and center.
Yeah, and I guess that, again, you've got like this sort of interesting timing that's going to hit where it feels like Reality Rift should almost be unstoppable, but you look at all of these heroes, and if you start getting like a lot of net worth on some of these supports, it could be scary. It's no joke, Reality Rift, as they get more gold. And they're doing it because they keep on taking these fights in sort of weird, chaotic ways. Snapper is going to Aghanim Scepter. Let's go.
Oh, nice.
Pretty cool.
I guess grabbing the Underlord. I don't really think Ember Spirit wants to get chucked in there, because they have like a lot of stuns on Reality Rift, and so and the Demonic Purge, and so he can't easily get out. But if you chuck an Underlord in there, I think that would be pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, or just like keeping somebody alive with it, you know, defensive Aghanims either.
Dire.
Got the Manta now, so the spells are available. Global is going to be much less important than it used to be. Granted, still scary. Armel's just freely hitting this tier 2 tower. But it looks like Reality Rift are the ones that, you know, are looking for a fight, spoiling for one around this mid-tier 1 tower. They want to try to take this down themselves and just farm out the map a little bit more.
And Radiant activate Glyph. Dire don't use their Glyph. And I mean, it was just the top tier 2 taking a little bit of damage, or maybe they wanted to keep the siege creep alive bot, but they won't have that Glyph now. And KP catches the Spearbreaker charging from across the map.
Oh, and a lot of gold about ready to go into their coffers if they can get this kill onto Hustler. It does have a charge back up in a second, but going to die. Another track kill into TNC. Are they trying to take Roche now?
Oh, interesting. They have a Solar Crest, so this is actually not too difficult. They don't have a great Roche theme typically, but Solar Crest is such a not popular item these days, but it's going to work very, very well in this situation.
Trading some illusions, I guess, see if they can get a bait out here. Arch throws that track onto the Wind Ranger. Should realize that that's not the real one now. Drew, Atos takes it off afterwards. No Roche, very low here. And the Spirit Breaker's charging through. This would be a really good timing for them if they can make it happen.
Oh, and they see that smoke.
Yeah, this is scary. They cancel the charge though, and ready to take this fight if they step up onto high ground. ENC trying to go for the wraparound. Nobody's over here on this side though. Are they gonna spot him in time? I mean, they're running to Drew. Echo. Again rooted. The Lotus Orb has already come out, trying to stack up some heat right now from Gabby. Shackle's not gonna latch. Alacrity has already popped his ultimate. A lot of damage there onto this freaking Timber Saw. He was actually just trying to run away. Global comes out. Drew barely able to get off that Greaves towards the end, rooted down onto 2. They've already lost both of them, and now gonna try and go for the ulti out. KP, is he gonna be able to get out? Gabby lived through that one, but now they're kind of all left alone. Gabby TPs, or rather is going to tip KP in thankfulness for what he did, as Armel has a triple kill, and the only one left alive is Alacrity.
Dude, this Timber Saw is so squishy. I don't know how he took so much damage. That's crazy, because he has 2 sources of Dispel now, so I feel like he should be able to take off any potential Spirit Vessels that are put on him, and he should be able to take off the Roots, which is what we were using, what we're seeing the Load Sword usually used for. But it seemed like it was just some casual right clicks from Silencer, and they just completely destroyed the Timbersaw. Granted, it is pure damage, so maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's a ton of pure damage. It's really hard to deal with. The other thing that, people haven't really talked about a ton is that spell amplification increases the int to damage ratio on Glaives of Wisdom. So every bit of spell amp that you get actually increases your damage potential so much on Silencer. And just having that like Van Brace and a null tally, it makes a kind of big difference. Now they're holding on to Aegis on Silencer and looking to try and take down these outer tier 2 towers. Again, this is the way that you play this draft if you're TNC. It's been, what now, 41 kills in 25 minutes? That favors Bounty Hunter.
Yeah, absolutely. As long as, again, the name of the game is objectives, so they managed to successfully do a lot of tier 2 damage down to the bot tower, which, again, I'm guessing that's why they used the glyph, just because every single bit of tower damage is so valuable to them that it doesn't really matter to them to use the glyph defensively, because if their towers are getting sieged, they're not in a position to defend them anyway. What they need is to kill all of the enemy towers as quickly as possible, so they're taking this top tier 2, and they need to continue taking all the other objectives with this Aegis in hand. All TP to the tier 2 mid.
Ready to fight round 2 of this one. Gabby is there, up front and center, shadow bladed, spotting Alacrity, trying to lay out the right clicks. He has his BKB, decides to pop it finally. Armel pops his own BKB, doing absolutely nothing as they try and take down the rest of these cores. Global silence comes afterwards. Armel, he's silenced in the duration of this, and KYXY just can't do anything. Dude looked like he DC'd.
Yeah, he wasn't even rooted. What the heck? You're just doing that.
And now, as you see Shadow Demon maybe in some more trouble, can they kill off Gabby? They want to take him down, and they will, but it's only the Aegis. Do they have a round 2? It's a madhouse of a game. Blackety throws out the stun onto Gabby. Will be able to connect onto him. He's invis, but getting pulled away by KP yet again. Dude, #1 taxi service. KP gets him out, and Tim's in the meantime is being chased here, but they're not going to be able to get this kill. Drew can't do it.
The team fight execution on TNC, they're getting out on like a razor margin, and it's working out. This time, they do not manage to kill off the Alchemist though, but that was also the 10-second BKB, or no, sorry, the 9-second BKB from Alchemist. So, heavy commitment, and Gabby yet again gets out, yet again gets more permanent int, and I don't know what Wind Ranger was doing.
Yeah.
I'm like 99% sure that KYXO was not rooted by anything, but as we've already seen at this game, I have a tendency to be wrong about things. So, I'm not 100% sure, because his damage is very important. He has an MKB, and he, like I said, he did not go for utility at all. He is going for pure damage, he's going for pure combat, and that's going to be critical if they want to be able to kill off this freaking massive damage-dealing silencer of Gabby.
I mean, the thing that's, I think, is really important, like, about the silencer carry, right, is that if he's left to do whatever he wants, he's terrifying.
Yeah.
He does so much damage, but the reason that this doesn't often work is because you need heroes to get on top of them. They have a Spear Breaker, they have a Timber Saw, they've got an Alchemist, now with the BKB. Like, I don't understand how Gabby is not dying in these fights. It's insanity. He also has a Silver Edge now. But yeah, this is like the hero that you're supposed to be able to blow up right at the start. And I guess some of it is, you know, the positioning of Gabby and just some really clutch saves at the last minute by KP.
Dire's courier has been killed.
They are continuing to take objectives despite that Aegis being off of Gabby. Take the bottom tier 2 basically uncontested, and now an Invis Armel and a Shadow Walking Bounty Hunter may be able to find someone, as there is a lot of Radiant Vision seeing these Dire heroes right now.
They ping it out, they realize that Timbersaw went back, they are trying to look for an opening onto these heroes, and Armel, with this Invis rune, looks towards Alacrity, but they're not going to be able to find an opening. It doesn't look like. Is sort of a, well, maybe. Nuts. He doesn't have anywhere left to go. He's in some trouble. Cookie, well, you know, you can't get them all. Shackle's going to land there onto Armel. This is an okay fight, but the rest of them aren't here yet. The big 4-person charge coming through with the stun afterwards. KP actually cancels the ultimate. They make the decision they want to fight, or maybe it was a misclick. But whatever the case is, that was not the way it's supposed to go. March is also going to go down now as Reality Rift find their footing and able to take that fight. I have to think that was a misclick.
Yeah, that's a really tough call. Maybe they thought that Silencer would be able to get global off.
Yeah, that could be.
but he was like perma-stunned. The Spirit Breaker,
Radiant's middle
he's
tower
got his
under
level
attack.
12 Another Strike.
Radiant's
He's
middle
dealing
tower
so much damage in
has
his own right, despite being a support. And and the other thing is he has Spider Legs. Oh my god, he deals so much damage whenever he hits someone, because Spider Legs gives insane amounts of move speed.
Yeah.
So, which is actually only 2 points. Yeah, he's just locking down the silencer and doing a ton of damage. I am thinking that TNC may start building some of their own defensive items. Bounty Hunter has the mech, which is good, but they may need to start building more BKBs on the side of TNC. So far, only Armel has it, but I think Gabby may need to consider it eventually himself.
Yeah, it's really tough. I mean, they're going to need a lot to keep him alive. Like we saw in that last fight, if you get Gabby at the start of the fight, they'll lose that fight. Yeah. That's very clear at this point. But they hadn't been able to do that previously. Well, now see what the answer is. Can he find some good positioning here? That's the Abyssal Blade opening up onto KP. Can they kill him off in time? He's got Pipe afterwards if he can ever not be bashed in this life. But apparently that's not what happens.
Nope.
And that's going to be off the mark for Bounty Hunter.
Getting a little bit concerning now for TNC. Fights are getting harder and harder. KYXY is becoming a bigger and bigger damage force. All of these dispels are now coming online. So I guess nothing has really changed too significantly in terms of dispels, but RR are now more capable of starting fights. I think part of the reason why all these fights have been going so poorly is because whenever Hustla initiates with a charge, no one was really able to follow up. Timbersaw may be able to jump in, but he doesn't provide crowd control, he just provides damage. So now, Hustla or Alacrity with this Abyssal Blade can very easily start a fight and finish the fight themselves. Like, Alacrity's just walking up to this mid-tier 2.
Yeah, he's become the carry that we knew eventually was going to be hard for this lineup to deal with. And trying to pull these creep wave past the tower as they are going to get tracks onto Cookie goes out, lands the stun, and he's actually dropping real quick. But the charge comes through, Dust is out, Hustla looking like he's dead. Now, with the Mortimer's Kisses, they have the follow-up they need with Armel, but the chain's only connecting onto creeps. They buy back on the Spirit Breaker, wants to run into this fight. Can Reality Rip escape through? This is the chains, and the Root is going to land stun afterwards with the Cookie. Another disruption from Nuts, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough to keep that Timber alive. Okay, KP finding him again. Shackles somehow lands on the Snapfire. That's Gabby. That's a lot of their damage. KP's in some trouble. Can he end up getting out of there in time? Doesn't look like it. They've got the control for Gabby. On the other side, Alacrity is trying to take down this Ember, but it's not quickly enough. He didn't have his ulti. They blow up that Wind Ranger. Buyback from the Shadow Demon. It's only Alacrity and Nut facing off against the Silencer. I don't think they... Okay. Yeah, they can just turn around. Although BKB, that's hard to fight. Gabby needs to get the hell out of here. Force step up to the high ground. He's gonna stun himself. Oh no, he gets it off on a Tim's. Nuts was being chased out by March. Slowdown coming yet again. Missed there because of the Radiance. And now that Shuriken almost able to get the kill. They can't quite find it. As Nuts is able to get away with murder, Gabby might be able to put the final finish. And there it is, the agony. Tossed in from downtown. Tim's makes it happen. I didn't even realize he had the freaking eggs.
Dunked on. Wow. I guess they really need the Spirit Vessel if they want to kill the Alchemist, because between the BKB and the Chemical Rage, Gabby is not able to beat it, but god damn, Gabby does an insane amount of damage right now. I'm actually surprised that he didn't go for the +2 permanent int steal at level 15. Instead, he went for the Arcane Curse slow, which seems kind of odd, seeing as how they have like a bajillion dispels on and I mean, he's been level 15 for a while. He should, as a carry silencer, I feel like you always take the +2 int steal talent, but he's still a force to be reckoned with, assuming he ever gets to attack, because again, we saw the Spirit Breaker just bump into the silencer and then ult the silencer, and he was out of commission for like 5 seconds, and that's very, very expensive if you're the really only damage dealer on the side of your team, but still not opting for a BKB, which granted, that would not really help against Silencer. My main concern is that if Silencer initiates, that would not really help against Spirit Breaker. My main issue is if that Spirit Breaker initiates, then Gabby gets unstable concoction afterwards, and then he's definitely screwed. So if he can just turn on the BKB before Spirit Breaker bumps into him, then he should be able to survive almost every fight.
Yeah, that chain stun that we've seen has really seemed to be the problem. And granted, some of that's the bashes and the Abyssal Blade coming out from Alk, like you were talking about, but there is also that element of it of just this stun, you know, the stable concoction or the shackle shot landing or whatever. But we'll have to watch and wait. It is going to be actually that Lincoln Sphere done like you were talking about.
Ooh, and Ember Spirit as well.
Oh, timing. Gets popped right there. Rooted for the moment. Hustler, Spirit Vessel already out onto him. The right clicks are coming fast and furious. That tree, I'm sure, has never been there before. As they manage to find that shackle, Mortimer Kisses comes out. Armel gets the back away with the BKB. And that is just going to reset the fight. I swear, I've never seen that tree before. What the hell?
It's Phantom Tree.
Rooted. KYXY in trouble. Disruption yet again to save a life, but he is not going to be living for all that long. They will find another kill, +2 for the silencer. And, oh, they're looking.
Spit him out.
A long range. Oh, not quite able to get it. As KP livid. Dude, that freaking eat and toss is unbelievable.
What is with you and not calling Mortimer's spells by their name? It's not called Eat and Toss, it's called Gobble Up.
Gobble up,
Wait,
whatever.
what's
I don't care, man.
Actually, I don't even know what the spit out is called. Is it called Spit Out?
I mean, that's what it says.
Okay.
Spit out.
Yeah. Very elegant.
Yeah.
Aegis goes the way of Gabby, and Cheese goes the way of Armel. They both have Lincoln Spheres now. And Silencer Carry deals so much damage.
Dude, the only answer to greed is more greed. Honestly, like, you look at these net worths right here, right? Alchemist is huge. He's this, like, indomitable force that you can only kill once everybody else is dead, it feels like. But then look at all the rest of these heroes, right? Like, they are so far ahead of these broke supports of Reality Rift. Tough.
Yeah, at least March gets the virtue of track gold, but the other two, like, Spirit Breaker has bought back, like, twice in this game already. Shadow Demon's been hemorrhaging gold on Sentry Wards, because I honestly don't blame them for not getting a gem at this point, because, like, who do you give it to? I don't really think Alchemist can be trusted with the gem, and he doesn't really have the slots for the gem. I guess you could give it to KYXY, but even that's a little bit dangerous. Now that he has a BKB, it's not so bad, but actually, yeah, maybe they should buy a gem at this point.
I think at this stage of the game, it's feeling more and more likely, though, that TNC could wrap this one up, like, because I think the worry that we both had was Alk was gonna, like, be able to have free reign over the map. They weren't gonna be fighting that much. Again, like, can't stress enough how much I didn't think there were gonna be 62 kills in 37 minutes. And that didn't really happen, and now TNC have taken all the outer towers. So if they win one more fight in a good position with the creep wave, they're gonna take a tier 3 no matter how slowly they push.
Yeah, and Alchemist is kind of getting to the point of capping out very, very soon. He's already basically 6-slotted. Aghanim Scepters haven't started coming out yet. Moonshard hasn't come out yet. Not that it's going to be that important for him. He doesn't have any proc items other than the bash, but he is not going to get that much stronger in terms of defense. Whereas Silencer, you know, infinite scaling, dog. He is only going to get larger and larger with each passing team fight, and the more attack speed he gets, he also gets very, very strong now, which is kind of a marked difference from the Silencers of before, just because of how his orb works, the way that OD's orb is stored, where it's just each attack gives you more and more damage incrementally. So he's just going to get bigger and bigger, and Armel as well. Like, Armel, this is not close to what a 6-slotted Ember will be capable of at some point.
Yeah, it's true. You know, if you needed to, you could have somebody else build the Spirit Vessel if you need to get more damage later on, but that's probably not even going to be the case. Who was it that had that data? Oh my god. Snapfire has the Chrysalis, and the little Shredder uses attack damage. That's pretty hype. That's insane. All right, let's see how it goes. The wraparound is here. TNC, they're on the wrong side. KYXY comes out. BKB trying to take down Tim's. That is a big tanky girl, but they already have the bash. Gabby under control and going going to die. That's Aegis one time. Now with the BKBs trying to run low, they're going to have the Mortimer's Kisses out onto him. Global is there. Wind Ranger is done. And KP throwing out the ulti to try and get everybody out of harm's way. Actually cancels it now. And with 2 dead, they think they can take this fight. Alacrity doesn't have BKB anymore. They got him under control. The stun is there. Finds the cookie. Going to be able to take down this Alacrity Alchemist as Gabby finishes him off along with Nuts. And that's the gem on the ground.
Yeah, that's what basically, that's the writing on the wall that we were expecting. A great angle of approach from TNC. That is not an easy position to take that fight. To freaking go around to Radiant's off lane and then come up these stairs, that is very, very complicated. But they managed to get that very, very peculiar angle, catch KYXY, kind of by surprise, though it seemed that Silencer was going to be in a lot of trouble, but the Aegis was the make or break factor. Him giving away the first sled bought enough time for the rest of TNC to get into position and take a very, very strong team fight. Now he's massive. He's destroying this Timber Saw.
Jesus Christ. Oh my goodness. Repair kits, eat your heart out afterwards as well. And now Gabby there has the stick afterwards. I mean, if you let the Silencer get to this stage of the game, like, it's just over. He's too hard to kill. Man,
triple buyback
TNC
on Reality Rift, and their tier 4s are taking damage, and I think that was all 3 repair kits that were spent already? Yeah,
that's really a problem. Buyback's all there. They're trying to force back the rest of TNC. The Lord T back off cooldown in 3 seconds. They can use it if they need, or just back out.
They should not. The Global's up in 20 seconds. There's no point risking this. You just were able to successfully bait out 2 buybacks. I think you should be pretty satisfied with that. Only take 1 set of racks, but I think that if they had gone for another set of racks, Reality Rift would not have started buying back on everyone. They throw them T4s that were stressing them out. But Global is up in 3 seconds now, so now if they want to fight, it's not a terrible idea.
No. It's crazy, man. This game is absolutely nuts. I mean, again, you have 68 kills, and this is how a bounty hunter can win a game. Like, I wish we had one of those overlays for how much track gold was given. Because, like,
layers.
Right? Like, I mean, this Snapfire is almost ahead of the Timber Saw. Like, this, I don't know. It felt like Reality Rift picked this Alk and then didn't really play the normal Alk games that have been winning that have run this strategy, which is like wait for that defensive item first, as they're going to go on to this Snapfire. Just an illusion. Illusionist cape reveal.
I would give a lot of credit to TNC for throwing Reality Rift off balance, though. The first couple of minutes where they were just constantly invading the jungle of Dire, that kind of gets into your head as an Alchemist team. And so you, after being so defensive for like so many fights, and you kind of thinking to yourself, oh my god, they have a bounty hunter on their team. We need to take a fight to them, don't we? We need to like reverse this momentum.
Yeah.
But I agree, it was a little bit hasty because they just didn't have the dispels necessary to take such a fight.
It reminds me of the old MVP team, you know? Yeah. The old ideas of just caveman Dota, and you get people to all of a sudden do things that they wouldn't normally do, throw them off balance by creating chaos. And I mean, this is why I think TNC were hurting before when they didn't have March. This man knows how to play some Dota as they walk up on the high ground. KP, they go onto the Shadow Demon. No defense now is available afterwards. BKB already out from KP as they have the global Alacrity. Would have stunned himself. KB of his own. Little Shredder destroys Ursula. Gablo looking for more. They're trying to get out of there. March living. They could cancel this if they want, or they just leave Armel and march to their own devices. As Gabby did die, Armel trying to back up. Spirit Vessel. Everybody's coming back in. Say hello, because round 2 is here. They have the control. They've got Vessel out, and that is going to be Alacrity dead yet again.
Man, and they did that without the silencer. That's huge. And now everyone's capable. They root up the Timber Saw.
Dude, look at Armel. This guy's such a boss. It's just like, he was body blocking him like creeps going down mid lane. What a freaking baller.
Tier 4s are down, and Silencer brought back. He doesn't have BOTs, but he's just ninja gearing all the way over.
Oh no, the TNC. Oh, have they gone a bit too far, or are they just going to be able to get this kill? Abyssal Blade comes out, lands onto one, but
Gabby's
KP has the Yules, and yeah, with him showing up, that should be about all she wrote. They've got a repair kit trying to keep alive the throne. Can they do it though? Gabby, he did die back.
Oh, they ate him.
I don't think it's gonna matter though. Yeah, good save. Tim's keeps him alive, and now the turn. One last time on to Drew. Reality Rift, they are, I mean, yeah, you can Timber Chain away, but they're gonna take your throne.
Unbelievable. They had one last charge, but it's not going to make much of a difference. Alchemist is dead for 2 minutes. It will be a valiant effort from Hustler, but one in make. KP will die.
Turns on it.
Bro, just kill
He's got buyback if he wants to go for it. No, they're killing them. They're killing the heroes. How dare you stand up to us?
You're right.
TNC win game number 1 in very, very dominant fashion.
Man,
Big stuff.
Can't help but wonder how much damage Gabby would have ended up with if he took the into talent, because he was a part of 39 kills.